Hi, this is Randy Finney with Right Side of the Chart, and this is an early session update for Friday, November 21st, 2025. It is 9:31 a.m. Eastern Time, and I just wanted to get one out early. I pounded you with videos yesterday, a lot going on, key levels to watch. I just want to reiterate something I say all the time. I know I can be repetitive, but support is support until less broken. So as much as I'm ready to I think this market's ready to buckle. I'm ready to short the next leg down. It's going to be about a 6% drop to that next daily target. And then again, you can turn your focus to the weekly targets. This is really the one after that. But again, as I say, support is support until less broken. So, the market did something similar. If you're brand new to trading and you weren't around just, a couple months back, it had an almost identical drop to the same level, and you can see it went on to make a marginal new high. So, that's it. Trade, like I said, I'm, not a pure mechanical trader, but this level needs to go before getting too bullish. Someone made a comment yesterday, oh, Nvidia's done. And, I correct them in my 2 cents. No, Nvidia's not done, nor are a lot of the key stocks that I covered. So in a nutshell, let me just bring it out up front. This level needs to go with conviction. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're a hair below. You know what I say. If you have to squint to see if a breakdown happened, give it the benefit of the doubt and wait till you see some better evidence. Plus, that happened right before the close. So to me, that was a non-event. We're right effectively on that level now. And remember, as much as I like to trade the Qs via NQ futures or QQQ, the rest of the world, or a lot of the world, likes to trade the S&P 500, likes to watch that, especially for technical levels. And that one is holding that support. This is the key October 10th low. So, the analogy I gave, I'll give you to, the person, NVIDIA's dead, let's jump in here. Yeah, be ready for it. Once these levels go with conviction, it should be pretty profitable. Quick swoon down, about a 6% drop to that next target on QQQ, if I'm right. Very well may happen today. Got a lot of, like I said yesterday, a knife through the heart of the bulls. But I'm going to go over the levels and just direct you to, one of my, there's a story out. It's an old fable that's, I don't know who came up with it, but it's the story of the two bulls. My favorite rendition is the one from the movie Colors. I think it was a movie from about maybe the early 90s. Sean Penn and Robert Duvall. Just Google Two Bulls story. I like the way Robert Duvall tells it to Sean Penn, who's the rookie cop in there. Duvall's the veteran cop. And that's the same kind of thing, patience. Don't get, especially in a bull market, don't get too excited. What happened yesterday, like I said, it was slap in the face or kick in the nuts, or whatever you want to call it, to the bulls and Nvidia bulls, more the stock market. But remember, Nvidia, I gave you levels that are still, Nvidia is still held. It's on that level right now, 179. It's a 179.34. Never violated that level. So we're there. I gave you key levels on the other market-leading stocks. Apple, they're all on my blue lines. So, like I said, as much as I want to say this market's done from what happened yesterday, the media is making a big deal about it. And it could prove by the time the ink dries or the pixels dry on this video and I get it out to you, maybe boom, that level goes. At that point, to me, it makes sense to increase short exposure. It makes sense to be short now. I told you yesterday before I'd go home short, and then I give you a level in the morning to reshort, which was a perfect, right at the highs on the 5-minute chart. That's it. So I just wanted to reiterate that, a lot of things are breaking down. But as always, there's a mixed bag. I consider all day long, and that's what I do in these videos. I show you levels that need to go, levels I think will go, and some things haven't broken down. And that's it. So just be flexible and know that when volatility is high like this, and all of a sudden it's like I said, I laugh at the media. I told you that 2 days ago there was all the worries about tech AI being over the bubble. It's a bubble and it's overpriced. And then if you look at the headlines that came out in the morning and after Nvidia reported last night, the night before last, Wednesday night after they reported into the morning, they flip-flopped, and then all of a sudden they don't know what to write. Oh my God, it's funny. Anyways, I get a kick out of that. So that's it, guys. There's the levels. Remember, the longer term sell signals are still on if you don't know what to do. But even, if you're a long term trader, this is the point it's prudent to add. If we get a kickback rally, I'll comment on it. The other thing I'll say is it is possible. I even replied to somebody yesterday about I don't trade seasonality with the, stock market almanac says this week's bullish, that week. But I can tell you, I can't remember a bad negative Thanksgiving week. Really in a long, long time. So, you have not just the seasonality end of year thing, but, trading volumes kind of dry up around Thanksgiving, and it tends to be a bullish week. So today's Friday. And so that's it, guys. That's all I can tell you. Those are the levels. So if we smash through, at this point, they undercut, since they had that little dip on QQQ, undercut that low, that might do the trick. But SPY, remember, successfully tested that October low and hasn't violated it yet. So you have, and again, I speak to everybody on the site, even those that have a different approach to any trade I'm taking. And there's a couple, they obviously usually go dark when the market drops, and then when it comes out to new highs, they tell you, told you so. But if you're not buying here, where do you buy? This is the biggest drop in months. That was one of the biggest drops in months, and that was our final target on the futures. And remember, we do have still that 60-minute divergence is intact. This is SPY. So again, I'm going to reiterate what I'm saying. If you do believe, if you are bullish, I know that's the thing. A lot of people waffle one bad day or a couple bad days, and then all of a sudden second guess. It's human nature. There's nothing wrong with that. But have a plan, have a trading plan. All I can tell you is we're at support with positive divergence on the 60-minute chart for the first time since, let's go to my beloved QQQ. Last time we had positive divergence on the 60, it's been a while. Well, we had some down here at the recent lows, at those lows. Yeah, that one, and remember, that was a target on the 60-minute chart here. I'd give you a total of 5. That was a divergent low right there. There it is. Nice. And it was equal lows in price. And that's as long as you have equal or lower lows in price and then higher highs in the indicators, that's positive divergence. But I gave you my thoughts. We didn't have the technical evidence as strong a case. It was close. We had a bearish engulfing that got taken out back then. But we have a lot of evidence here, and again, I'm a very multifaceted trader or analyst. When I look at things, I look at other things like the financials as well. And remember, XLF is also testing its 200-day simple and exponential. The blue and red line are your exponential and simple. They're coming in together with very nice price support. Again, it's a level I think is probably going to go. And I think there's a good chance today, and that's it. So the easiest thing to say is, it's not much more to hold off. Or, I know some of you probably aren't short, didn't want to short, take the last one or any of them, especially what happens in a bull market. I know the comments go dry, people giving up. They think the market will just go up forever. And so, a lot of people didn't want to take that short entry or this one here. That was when the futures broke down from that wedge I gave you right here. That was the next sell signal I said would come on the next drop. So you had two beautiful entries there. But if you have the urge to start shorting now, you're playing contrary to the game. That's the analogy I used the first time I ever played blackjack in my 20s. Went down to the Bahamas. Nassau was at Paradise Island. Back then it was Merv Griffin Casino. I'm dating myself. And I didn't know what I was doing. And the dealer was quietly whispering under his voice, "You're playing contrary to the game, man." Meaning you don't know what you're doing. So I gave him a fat tip and walked away after I realized I was bleeding cash. I didn't even, I kind of had a general idea of the concept of blackjack, but I hadn't really studied it. So you're playing contrary to the game if you want to be buying here and then shorting here, or even stopping out of your longs. Again, a stop shouldn't be too far below. If you wrote it down and you're feeling the pain, those are the levels to watch. And again, most important thing on a daily time frame, because I haven't been talking about those October 10th lows on the day on the 60-minute or intraday charts. That's a daily thing. And so if you get enough down through there for the day and you take them out on SPY, you'll probably take them out. But then you want to look at XLF. A lot of stuff hit support yesterday, and it's holding at support. And one of the things I watched too for a kind of a tell on the risky stuff, the kind of the everything that epitomizes this the bull market in recent years is that ARK fund. I've got alerts going off like crazy today. And even that is at support. I shared this as a trade idea recently. Took out that 85.18, hit that 76.83 target bounce, hit the 250-day, fell, but it's at really nice support plus its 200-day. And that's the one that's chock full of, again, it's kind of everything that's the crux of this AI bubble. There's NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, Taiwan Semi, Tesla, Palantir, Alibaba, AMD, Shopify, Robinhood. All the stuff that I think will be clobbered and just turn out to be tremendous shorts in the bear market. And again, remember, we're on some sell signals. It's really, guys, it's more of a matter, are they going to buy it up here and have some short covering before the weekend and maybe into next week? Or do we go now? And if we go, look, we start getting, I've had a lot of alerts fire off so far at the open, but look at what the open looks like. We opened on support, the same support we closed at yesterday. You've got this little bit of divergence here. Again, please don't mistake my words for what I'm saying. I think this level is going to go. I'm just telling you that for me, my trading plan, it's not that all-in, full short, full long the VIX. Got to temper those. Have a little dry powder right now, is in my opinion. But it's worth being short based on all the sell signals we've had recently. You can probably hear my alerts going off this morning. I'm going to go over my alerts and then we'll wrap this video up. I'll get it out to you. Let me pop up my alert log. Man, there's a lot going off today. So let me just pop this up. Bring it over here. This is just today alone. There's AMD, first one at support. Big, massive support too. Look at that gap. You could drive a Mack truck through that gap. And not just the gap. Look at the beautiful uptrend line. So, and again, it's a level that ultimately will go. But, I mean, if you're an AMD bull or a semi bull, how do you not step in and buy this? It's the first test of that massive gap since it was put in place. Of course, you had a sell signal here. That was a divergent high. Then you broke this support level, but you're at double support. You're at the uptrend line, and again, a very well-defined uptrend line, and gap support, top of the gap. Tandem go off. That's that's a long trade. This is a resistance level here. Target, MS. Oh, Microsoft. I'm sorry, Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley just broke down. NVIDIA still flirting with the 179. Starting to go, but again, close. So down 178.34 now. Remember, it's a 180-point security. So always put that in perspective when, if you have a 10-point security that's trading at $10 a share and it's down 20, 30, 40 cents below, that's a solid break of support. In percentage terms, that's 4% or so on 40 cents. When you're down, 40, 60 cents on 180-point security, it's not as much. MicroStrategy already hit our second target yesterday. Gave me an alert today just because it moved through it again. Apple, there's that 266.78 needs to go to open them. Still maintaining those targets. So don't get me wrong. I'm not calling for a move to new high. I'm open for anything. I'm always open for anything. And now you can see Apple's, it's really this little box here. It's in this trading range. Bulls win there. We'll get stopped out if that happens. And look, if we do it, I probably will give it to you again once I see evidence, a reason to get back in short, because it'll just extend the negative divergence that was in place at the high we shorted. But we also had that bearish engulfing candle. So I think there's enough evidence for a top. I think these levels will go. Yes, Thanksgiving week is usually bullish, but that doesn't, I use the Tet offensive analogy, how successful it was for the North Vietnamese because the U.S. troops weren't expecting that. So I learned that many, many years ago. It's, that's why I don't, I'll acknowledge seasonality, but if the charts tell me to be long or short, despite what seasonality says, that's what I'm doing, guys. All right, what else? Do you want any more alerts? Let's see if there's any that stand out. I'm just looking for myself because I haven't even had time. I always give you guys first priority, and then I get anything important, I get it out to you, and then I sit there and go through all my accounts and make any changes I need to in positioning. Yeah, that's OSG. That one's now taken out T2. Remember, that was the one I gave you yesterday. That was AMBC. Change names. It kind of freaked me out yesterday because I had a price alert go off on OSG, and I'm like, I have no recollection. I usually know all these tickers in my head. I can tell you tickers for hundreds, if not 1,000 companies, but that one was new anyways. They changed their name. That's AMBAC. All right, I think I'll wrap it up here. You guys have the levels to watch, and that's it. Just know that anything's possible, and sentiment in this market, if the last few days and the flip-flopping of the media trying to assign and tell you what the general public is feeling based on the moves, if that doesn't show you how ephemeral the sentiment is in the stock market, especially when animal spirits are running hot like now, then nothing else does. So, in other words, it flips from bullish to bearish on a dime. That's all the memes last night that came out, on the internet 2 nights ago, Wednesday night, when NVIDIA had blew away earnings and gave good guidance. And, of course, there were a whole set of different memes yesterday after the drop. And that kind of shows you what's, the general consensus. You just look at memes on the internet, and it'll kind of show you what the crowd, the masses are feeling. All right, guys, that's it. You have the levels. If anything changes, I'll let you know. I'll continue to hunt for new trade ideas as always. Remember, it's a weekend. And not only a weekend, it's a weekend before the week of Thanksgiving, which has, I believe, it always has one full shutdown day, Thanksgiving Day, and then an abbreviated trading day. So, and then half the world on vacation. So, anything can go. Watch the levels, and I'll leave it at this too. Because of those holiday weekends, think 4th of July, think Thanksgiving, think Christmas. Those you tend on those low volume periods, you tend to get more whipsaws and false breakouts. It's maybe a function of the low volume. I also have a theory that that's when the big trading firms can move the market more. What I mean by that is if you have enough money, I'm sure there's some listening to my voice that can move, most of us can, a penny stock with low volume by buying or selling. And that's where there's a lot of pump and dump schemes out there. That's the realm of the pump and dumpers on the internet that trade and focus on penny stocks, because just a little bit of buying can make it go up, or a little bit of selling relative to what it's been doing go down. You can be Goldman Sachs, but you can't move Apple or can't move NVIDIA by selling and buying. But if the volume is low enough, and that's what happens during holiday weeks, especially on particular stocks, those trading desks can go in if they want to kind of manipulate, run something up, blow stops, take it down a little bit, clear out the stops on the longs, turn around and buy it. So what I'm trying to tell you is just know that, and that's why you might want to keep things light heading into today and heading into next week because of the holiday, and take buy and sell signals with a little bit of a grain of salt. Okay, that's it. 19 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up, get it out to you, and we'll see where today takes us. All right, this has been Randy Finney with Right Side of the Chart. Have a good one.